My name is Tina, I'm 35, single, and still living at home. I've been so focused on work that I reached 35 before I knew it. Work has basically become my relationship, and I spend most of my time at home without any real hobbies. One morning, the doorbell rang. It was unusual for someone to come by so early. My mom looked through the peephole and seemed surprised, curious. I took a look too. It was Mia, my younger brother Andrew's ex-wife. Andrew is 5 years younger than me, and he still lives at home, though he had to work that morning. He and Mia divorced 3 years ago, so seeing her here was completely unexpected. My parents and I were all confused. Andrew's not here, what should we do? My mom asked. I said, we should probably tell him later, but maybe we should hear her out first. If it's awkward for you, I can talk to her. When Andrew and Mia were married, my mom had a hard time with Mia's strong personality. Mia always spoke her mind, and my mom, who tries to avoid conflict, often felt overwhelmed. So, I figured it was better if I handled it and greeted Mia myself. Hi, Mia, it's been a while. Andrew isn't here, he's at work, I said. That's fine, I actually came to talk to you, she replied in her usual calm voice. I led her to the living room where my parents were waiting. We all sat down, curious about why she was here. So, what's going on, Mia? What brings you here? I asked. Actually, I have a favor to ask Andrew. I'd like him to start paying child support. Her request left us all stunned. Andrew and Mia didn't have children, so why would she need child support? Wait, what, child support? I asked, confused. Yes, she replied. I thought it might be nice if he could help support the child I'm carrying. We were speechless. My parents looked pale, unsure what to make of her request. I realized I needed to ask more questions to understand exactly what Mia was talking about. I said, you know, child support is usually paid for your own child, so, if the baby you're carrying is Andrew's, then yes, he'd have to pay child support, but… Oh, is that so? I'm sorry, I thought I was entitled to it. My current husband told me I could ask for it, Mia said, looking confused. I wondered what her current husband had told her, but I calmly explained that since the child wasn't Andrew's, there was no reason for him to pay child support. That's strange, she mumbled. Well, I came to ask about support for the baby, and I thought my ex-husband might want to help. I couldn't believe she would say something so bizarre. Wouldn't anyone realize it didn't make sense? Just then, Mia's phone rang. She stepped into a corner of the room to answer, and it sounded like she was arguing with someone, likely her current husband. As she talked on the phone, my dad whispered to me, Mia's asking for something ridiculous, isn't she? What do we do if she says she won't leave until we give her money? I replied, there's no way she can expect that. Why would she even ask her ex-husband's family for this? It was clear her current husband had influenced her somehow. A moment later, Mia finished her call and walked back over to us, smiling. I'm so sorry, she said, I made a big mistake. Oh, really? So, everything's fine now? I asked. Yes, it turns out it wasn't child support. I was actually supposed to ask for the alimony from the divorce. My mom, dad, and I were all stunned, but Mia just kept smiling cheerfully. Wait, alimony from the divorce? I asked. Yes, my current husband likes to get anything he can. We've only been married for about a year, but before that, we talked about my divorce from Andrew. He asked, did you get alimony from the divorce? So, you're saying the divorce was Andrew's fault? I asked. Well, maybe, I don't really know, she answered casually. I decided to check directly with Andrew, so I went to my room, grabbed my phone, and texted him, did you cheat? Andrew immediately called me, sounding panicked. No, I didn't cheat, what's going on? I explained, you know that alimony is usually paid by the person who caused the divorce, right? Of course, why would Mia say something like this? He replied, clearly frustrated. Okay, just to confirm, the divorce wasn't your fault, right? No, we broke up because of personality differences. She didn't do anything wrong either. Got it, I said. Are you coming home soon? Yeah, I'll be there in about 30 minutes, Andrew replied. After ending the call, I returned to the living room, where my parents were waiting, eager to hear what I'd found out. I sat down and explained. So, I just checked with Andrew. He says their divorce wasn't his fault. Mia looked confused. What do you mean, his fault? Well, alimony is something paid by the person who causes the divorce, so, If you and Andrew just had differences and didn't do anything wrong, neither of you owes the other alimony. Mia looked surprised. Wait, are you saying that when a woman gets divorced, she doesn't automatically get alimony? In that moment, it was clear she really hadn't understood. I realized I was dealing with someone who truly believed that women automatically receive alimony in a divorce, regardless of who was at fault. Mia seemed so sure of herself, with a take-what-I-can-get attitude. While it's good to be assertive, I wished she'd done her research before coming to us. She muttered, that can't be right. My husband said I'm supposed to get alimony. Mia, your husband doesn't make the law, I said calmly. Just then, we heard the front door open. Andrew had rushed home, looking frustrated. What are you doing here, Mia? He asked. Oh, Andrew, I didn't really need to see you, she replied casually. I was here talking to your mom and sister about child support and alimony. Andrew, already annoyed, said, look, do what you want, but I'm not paying you anything. I don't owe you. Mia snapped back. You're the one responsible here, Andrew. At that point, I stepped in to calm things down. Mia, we'll look into this further, but from what I'm hearing, I don't think you're entitled to any money. Why don't you double-check the rules? For now, please leave. She let out a frustrated sound, slammed the door, and left. After things settled down, I asked Andrew why he'd decided to end the marriage. Honestly, it was because of her attitude. The constant stress was just too much, he said. She seemed fine with the divorce too. I didn't do anything to owe her alimony. Later that evening, though, just as we were all relaxing, a loud crash suddenly sounded from outside, startling us all. I stepped outside and saw a car speeding away. To my horror, part of our flower bed near the front door was destroyed. I immediately thought, it has to be Mia. This kind of childish behavior was exactly why I couldn't stand her. What do you mean? My dad asked, noticing my frustration. Has she done this before? Yes, I said, explaining that during their marriage, Andrew had dealt with a lot because of Mia. She would cause trouble around the neighborhood, and he'd often have to apologize for her. She was also a big spender, using their savings on beauty treatments and luxury brands, believing that as a wife, she needed to look her best at any cost. It was exhausting for Andrew, and I knew this added to why he wanted to end things with her quickly, even if it meant skipping any alimony claims he might have been entitled to. I wanted to know why he hadn't told me all this sooner, but Andrew apologized, saying he just didn't want to relive it. I told him it was fine and that I just hoped nothing else would happen. Unfortunately, my hope didn't last long. The next day, Mia returned, ringing the doorbell and shouting, I looked it up, I can get alimony from the divorce, so give it to me now. Don't you care about the child? We tried ignoring her and responding only through the closed door, but Mia kept coming back. Soon, her current husband started joining her, parking his car in front of our house, smashing things with a hammer, and then leaving. This harassment went on for a week. I began wondering if we should report it to the police. Meanwhile, the chaos was affecting my work. I work from home doing web services, and the constant disruptions were even causing me to miss parts of important meetings. My boss, Natalie, noticed something was off. Hey, are you okay? Natalie asked after a meeting. This sounds like a tough situation. Have you reported it to the police? My parents are hesitant to escalate things, but I think they're reaching their limit, I replied. Natalie, a successful businesswoman balancing her career and family, encouraged me. If you don't do something, it could get worse. Natalie and I started chatting, and she mentioned that her own son's wife believed in things like alimony always goes to the woman. We shared a laugh about how strange people could be. Then, she suddenly turned serious. Wait, you don't think? I was surprised by what she said next. We came up with a plan to put a stop to Mia's harassment. The next morning, Mia returned with her husband, both standing at our front door. Mia shouted, We're here to get your divorce settlement. Do you really want to keep suffering? Beside her, her husband was grinning, looking smug as Mia banged on the door. It was time to put our plan into action. I looked through the peephole and then decided to open the door. You just don't know when to quit, do you? I said to Mia. She replied, I'm all about getting what I can, but as soon as she saw the person standing behind me, her confidence disappeared. Oh my God, what are you doing here? Standing there was Natalie, Mia's current husband's mother, and my boss. During our last online meeting, Natalie had guessed it might be Mia causing the trouble. When the facts matched, Natalie had agreed to confront Mia in person. She'd driven over immediately. What are you talking about? A divorce settlement? What are you up to? Natalie demanded. Mia stammered. No, it's not what you think. Oh really? So why have you been saying for weeks that you deserve money from your ex-husband? Natalie continued, clearly not buying her excuses. It looks like you and him were up to something. At that moment, Mia's husband, John, also showed up. He'd apparently started questioning Mia's behavior after learning about her scheming. When Natalie confronted her, Mia tried to lie her way out, claiming the man she'd been with was just a friend, but John wasn't having it. Mia, I'm done with you, he said, disgusted. As the argument escalated, we suddenly heard police sirens. Andrew had called the police as soon as the scene started. Alec, Mia's so-called friend, tried to escape, but he was stopped by the officers. Fooling around by smashing our flower bed and damaging our walls? We have proof, my dad said, revealing that our dash cam had recorded the whole thing. Alec turned pale as he realized they'd been caught on video. Both Mia and Alec were taken to the police station. They were questioned, released on probation, but eventually faced serious consequences. John decided to divorce Mia and even demanded a significant alimony. She and Alec had to pay $3 million and $2 million each, but being jobless, they're now stuck working part-time to pay off their debt. After all this, Mia and Alec stopped bothering us, and peace returned to our home. Andrew, after all the trouble, has since become friends with John. They're even planning to attend a local matchmaking event together, hoping to find someone special.